So you may not be aware of this, and if you're not a content creator or hanging out on the Discord all the time, you probably aren't. But about a week ago, YouTube seems to have rolled out some fairly large algorithm changes, which come in the wake of some longer algorithm changes that have made their effects clear over the course of the past month or two. I am at the point where I have sufficient data to say that apparently, right now, starting this week, YouTube, well, not this week in terms of the calendar week, but the last 7 days, give or take a couple days, it seems that YouTube has begun massively favoring content by channels that upload at least one video per day in the algorithm, right? So the videos you will get recommended to you most likely are going to be these videos over all other videos. Now, this is good for these channels. There are a lot of video channels who do videos every day. It's a legitimate format. There's a lot of great channels that are experiencing massive growth right now, and I'm kind of happy for them. However, the vast majority of channels on YouTube, especially the channels who really focus on producing high quality content, for them, uploading every day is in no way sustainable. And there is the hypothesis that I can make with YouTube's recent move to incorporate news media more prominently on the platform, that this is them changing the algorithm away from content creation, independent content creation, and focusing all of the power that the algorithm has, redirecting all of the views to these news corporations, because they have the resources and the power and the money and the staff to produce several pieces of content every day, because obviously they are the news. So these large news networks and channels that have a lot of staff and a lot of people behind them are currently the ones who are making massive amounts of growth, right? And here's the interesting thing about that. So in the past couple of days, there have been some very bad days for subscribers for me, right? I have lost huge chunks, not in relation to how big my subscriber base is, but I have never lost this many subscribers in a single day. And the interesting part about this is the amount of people who unsubscribe from my channel has been a bit lower on average in the last 2 to 3 weeks than usual. So how come that last week I lost so many subscribers? Well, I wasn't gaining any new subscribers. That's the problem. Every day people unsubscribe from your channel. That's just a normal thing that people do, right? Not interested in your content anymore. They're just cleaning out their subs and, oh, I haven't watched this guy in a while, so I'm just gonna kick him out, right? Usually, because your videos are in circulation, right? And so new people get to see your videos, and then they like your videos, they subscribe. Eventually, maybe they become also people who unsubscribe. Who fucking knows? But that's usually how it works. However, seeing as my videos and the videos of anyone who isn't producing daily content are no longer being recommended to almost anyone, we are all failing. So no new subscribers are sent to our channels, so we can't compensate the subscriber loss and then still have growth. It's just a downward spiral. And part of me really does think that YouTube is trying to play into the hands of these big news companies, because if you haven't known this, but you probably do, is that they're investing $25 million into basically establishing mainstream news outlets, which they call authoritative sources, as core parts of the YouTube platform. And if you search for news, they are going to be preferred. And I do think that in order to, placate them, impress them, and demonstrate to them, yeah, you can actually get a lot of traffic and a lot of views on our platform, they changed the entire algorithm to suit these news platforms, right? This also now benefits a couple of YouTubers who do content, right? But primarily this would in the end benefit the news platforms. And I suspect if they implement other algorithm changes that have been tested in the past, we would come to a point where even those independent news YouTubers and the YouTubers that do content every day, which are mostly YouTubers who talk about current events and commentary YouTubers, that they too would be no longer favored in the algorithm, and only the news networks and whatever they produce would be favored in the algorithm. Now that may well not be the case at all. YouTube may just be having changed this algorithm and they also want the independent news, but considering YouTube's track record, the one thing that they do not deserve in the slightest is trust. I don't think that there is a reason to panic right now. There's a good to fair chance that they will roll back these algorithm changes within the month. They deploy 200 to 300 algorithm changes every year. They don't tell anyone about them, but all the algorithm changes that are deployed are thought through. So that someone at YouTube decided that right now, what they want is for channels that upload daily to have more sub growth than all other channels. Because, the sub growth happens because more people are recommended their videos and then more people see their videos. Just want to make that connection clear. Hence my theory that they're just trying to impress the big news networks. The thing is, I do not have the ability to produce daily content. I have a 10-hour workday and I work weekends too, right? I cannot do a The Burger Creek video every day. That's just not feasible. I don't really comment on the news. I sometimes comment on current events, but I don't just sit there and digest some new stuff and then say what I have to say about it. That's not, my content has a lot more creative energy goes into my content as opposed to the content of most channels that do daily content. And this, by the way, I am not saying that these channels are somehow inferior to mine, because obviously they're not. It's just a different format. The thing is, here's how I make my videos, right? I will get an idea, I will open a script for it, I will begin developing that idea, I will research the things that stand around that idea, and then write a script for my video. And then I will record off that script. I do this, and I like doing this, because I can be certain that I am not repeating myself too much. I have short-term memory issues, which are very selective and nobody quite understands how they work, because some things I can remember perfectly, other things, like mostly numbers, I can't remember at all. If you tell me a number with 4 ciphers, when you have arrived at the last cipher, I will have forgotten the first one. And then I will try to remember the whole number, and then all the other ciphers will also slip from my memory. Usually I am a lot better at this conversationally, but I am afraid that there will be a lot of conciseness and a lot of brevity and a lot of focus will be lost if I just record videos talking like this. And also I would have to come up with a new idea every day. I have a backlog of scripts, but a lot of those things are ideas that I would like to develop properly and look into properly before saying stupid shit. Because I can guarantee you, if I were to do this every day, I am going to say stupid shit. I might in the future go ahead and talk about some current events, but I don't think I want to make that a permanent installment on the channel. However, you guys should probably be the judges of that. Right now, what I'm doing, I don't have a script. Right now, I'm just rambling to the camera. I don't know how concise it will be. And to be frank, the fact that English isn't my first language often hinders me in the flow, right? When I have the script in front of me, I know how sentences are built. I know what to say. I can focus on performing the script. It all sounds like it's just an act. It's really not. I go off script all the time. But it's a very good thing to have for the type of content that I do. So right now, what I'm thinking is that this will not be permanent. I will be having some sub loss over like a month, maybe 2. It's terrible timing, of course, because I am working towards financial independence in October. But it'll have to do. And eventually, probably the algorithm is going to swing back round the other way. Maybe because YouTube realizes that it's alienating the vast majority of its content creators. Maybe because, YouTube says, well, we wanted to do this for a couple months anyway to dupe all these stupid fucking news outlets, people. And now we're going to go back to the usual YouTube program. Who knows? Nobody can look into YouTube's head. And nobody should trust YouTube, and I don't either, but this is usually how it goes. Do, however, consider giving me money on Patreon or Maker Support, though, again, as I have said yesterday, maker support is dysfunctional right now, so I would prefer Patreon, sadly. Yeah, really let me know what you think in the comments below about this whole situation. I know that a lot of other channels have been... I've been talking to Wizard of Calls on Twitter, who has been experiencing the very same issues because he doesn't upload daily. And on the other hand, Jeremy Hambley from... I think it's Hambley, right? Jeremy from The Quartering, he uploads daily. He has experienced massive subgrowth. That's just two of the examples of two of the data points that I have collected to come to this conclusion. I also, there's also been this theory floating around that YouTube is now selecting for evergreen content, which might actually still be true. And what evergreen content is, essentially, is content that you could still watch in the future, right? And 1 year from now, you wouldn't be able to watch the news from today and be still entertained in the same way that you would today, right? But in a year, you could go back to a JonTron video, right? And still watch it. I watch videos in JonTron's back catalog all the time. So JonTron is evergreen content. However, because small YouTube channels do not have already have an established audience of people who will view their backlog of content from time to time, because my content is in theory fairly evergreen, because most of the topics that I talk about aren't exactly current events. They are current in the sense that they are relevant to the current era. So I think that a lot of the very big channels that put out content, not daily, might actually be fine over the secondary function of the YouTube algorithm. However, any new channels, any smaller channels that are like beneath 100K and do not do daily content, the way the algorithm works at this point in time, it might fuck them. And me, of course, being in that camp, I would prefer that not happen. So yeah, do leave your opinions about this in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. This has been just a quick update on the situation. I won't even give it a thumbnail or anything. Yeah, I like you all. Go on Twitch and the gaming channel and the audiobooks channel that I do. And see you around, cunts.